Sweet, beautiful souls, hello, welcome back. Today we are decoding the messages from these bodies, these temples that we have chosen on a soul level before we came into this earth experience to incarnate into this vessel. And this vessel that you have chosen is specifically and perfectly encoded for what you came here to create, to become, to achieve, to do in this lifetime. And this is one of the most important conversations that we can be having, because if we don't understand and allow ourselves to work with the body, we are working against it. And this is really what we are shown and demonstrated and modeled in our society. The paradigm that we are modeled, the mainstream narrative, is to push against, to stop what the body is sharing with us, to turn off the mechanisms that are taking place. And really, there is a war on consciousness is what this all is, but it's all happening for us. It's happening for our collective growth and expansion. And it's really challenging and it's really good at the same time. But I don't want to ignore that it is challenging too. And if you're experiencing things going on with your body, I want to, first of all, preface that's probably why you're here. You want to understand what the body is communicating to you, what these messages are, what these pains are, these symptoms, this dis-ease, these autoimmune conditions, these thyroid things, these lack of energy and fatigue, and what are all of these things that are taking place, especially like with the energy so high and these Schumann resonances that are spiking. And of course, we have the beautiful moon cycles that bring things up for us. And we also have the toxins in the air and the food and the water. And so, how do we begin to really understand what these bodies are communicating to us, also amidst all of these other obstacles that we are encountering? So, I want to first of all set the stage with every expression of the body is perfect. Encoded within it is a message for us to receive. So I want to start off with an example of someone that I worked with the other day. And this really goes to show you that there are a lot of ways to go about seeing and working with the body. And I'm going to lay down some really valuable templates and tools for you guys in this episode. But it's also really beneficial and really helpful navigating all of this when we have our intuition. And this is really why people come to me, because I often receive people who have tried everything, who have gone to all of the naturopaths and doctors and Chinese medicine, and they've tried these things, and then they're like, why is this not working? And so when we can look at a deeper level, then we can understand these baseline things that I've shared. I've also shared some of these in previous episodes, but the body is very literal, very literal. So for example, things going on with the eyes is going to often be like, what are we not wanting to see? What are we not seeing, right? So I'm also going to get into some other body parts and what those expressions and what those symptoms and what certain diseases are showing to us. But I want to start off with this example. So this woman, oh my goodness, what a vivacious she is on top of her health. She is on top of things spiritually. She was an older woman. And she was expressing to me this struggle with her hearing. And she has hearing aids, and she realized she can't hear without them, right? And so she says to me, I know this means there's something I'm not hearing, and I don't know what. I don't know what is the message? What is the message that apparently I'm not wanting to hear? Can you help me? Like, she What a talk about someone who is just like doing the work, and I just really love seeing these types of things. So I'm like, okay, yes, you are right. It's like, what are you not hearing? So, but I'm like, okay, let's tune in and see. And oh my gosh, you guys, this is like, it's literally like a mystery that I get to solve with all of my clients and the people that I get to see, because and for me it's so fun because really the body is telling a story. So I said, okay, well, first of all, you're actually hearing too much. Like your body and your system are a bit overwhelmed because you've been hearing a little bit too much. And so this is where we're at right now. Like you're hearing a lot. And so the body was like, I actually want to tone down the hearing so that the other senses can amplify, because it was like she was receiving messages from the collective, from like her guides, from her. And so it was almost too much for her. So it's like, this is how it's currently presenting. However, I was like, but there's a bit of a deeper root that, because she had done so, I could tell she had done so much work. I could tell she had done so much work to get to this place of, taking really good care of her body, that it was like the issue was the loss of hearing. It wasn't like it wasn't taking over her life because she has hearing aids, but she really couldn't hear without her hearing aids. And so I said, but there's like a deeper root, because she's taken such good care of her body that it's not like taking over her life in a really bad way. But I said, well, there's something that happened when you were a child. Instantly, that's what I was being shown something with her parents. I said, what did your parents not want you to know? Like, what were you, there was something your parents didn't want you to know growing up. And she said, oh my gosh, like my my dad had really, I don't remember what the condition was, but some terminal illness. Her dad was very sick when she was young, and her parents didn't want her as a young child worried about her dad's life. And so they would speak, they would whisper, they would talk in private behind closed doors about the condition of her father, but never tell her. They never told the siblings, the children, what was going on, because they didn't want the kids to worry. Right. But kids are very tuned in. They're very tapped in. They feel, they sense, they're so psychic. And especially up until around the age of about 7, kids are really just reflections of what the parents are doing. So a lot of the issues that kids struggle with up until that age is not actually their issue. It's a reflection from their parents. So this was happening when she was quite young, and she said, I could feel that they were keeping something from me. I could feel that there was something wrong. I could feel that there was an incongruence in what they were telling me versus what I felt. So herein, okay, this woman is, I told you, a bit older. All of these years have passed. So all of these years later, now the body is expressing that it's not safe to hear things. And this is how she was literally programmed from her parents, these people who loved her so deeply, so dearly, that she didn't need that. Rather, protection is in not hearing. Protection is in not hearing. That was love, that was protection, that was keeping her safe. Now, the really cool thing is that for a lot of people, simply having this realization can completely eradicate the problem. So this is cool. And for, it really depends on the person. For other people, we look in it and we see, okay, now what do we need to do? And this is what I lead people and guide people through, of like really recoding this on a neural pathway. Like, how do we recode this in the brain and in the body and in the field? So the field that you are emitting, that is therefore creating and attracting back experiences and situations and circumstances to you. So for her, it was like just having this awareness was going to be able to shift and let that go. And then we did a little bit of energy to to release and remove and and resolve this, to have the body know that it's safe to hear things. It's safe to hear things. So, on the topic of safety, I know a lot of people, and something that I see for a lot of people when they come to me is a struggle with their weight. Weight, so first of all, different parts of the body where weight is being stored mean different things. But weight in and of itself is going to be protection. Now, what could we be protecting ourselves from? Ourselves. This is the wild thing. The body puts on weight to protect. Think about if you are plopped down in Antarctica with, and you are unprepared. I think that's, yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, okay. We're not. I'm like, it's cold there, right? Yes, it's cold there. Or maybe Russia, or any of you. You're plopped in a really cold area, and you're not prepared. One of the greatest things that you can have is some extra layer of padding on your body to keep you insulated, right? So here in our modern day, we have jackets, we have those, but this is how the body worked to protect itself. But now we have many other things that the body is seeking protection from. Perhaps you were sexually, physically, mentally abused as a child. Unfortunately, so many people have experienced this, and part of the protection mechanism for this, the body says, I don't want that to ever happen again. And so it creates weight as a protection. It's a form of like a barrier that the body creates because it doesn't want that to happen ever again. We also, then we start to, I find a lot of people start to develop these things like SIBO and candida and parasites and IBS and cancer and a lot of these like autoimmune type conditions and really like awful things. But you guys, that is not the root cause. I know this is gonna like shock a lot of people. That is not the root cause. The root cause is not the SIBO, the candida, the parasites. There was something that had to take place in order for you to be an energetic match for that to come into your body, in order for that to come into your experience. It is more often than not an emotion, a trauma, an experience that you have encountered this life or past, or that you are dealing with and not looking at and facing. So this is where it really helps to have this intuition and to work with someone or develop it yourself where you can be able to see these types of things that are going on. But I'll share from personal experience and from a lot of other healers I've seen, it's really hard to see our own stuff. So just like, please know, if you're a healer, it's hard to see your own stuff. Do not hold yourself to the highest expectations. It can be really great to have and receive support. And it doesn't mean you need someone for support for everything, but there's a time and a place. So when we allow ourselves to begin to see these deeper messages, though, now we can begin to unwind and actually no longer be an energetic match to parasites, candida. This is where, like, I see people chasing the candida and the parasites and the SIBO and the heavy metals and the mold. You can chase those things forever, forever. And we live in it like there's a lot of toxins in this world. They're not going to go away. Hope I shouldn't say that. I would love for them to go away, but probably not overnight. Realistically, it's not going to happen in the next. I was like, I wanted to say like day or month, but realistically, probably not like years, decades. But there are some big changes being made in our collective, but we have to be we have to learn to adapt and be vital and be strong even amidst the toxins. And so it's actually going to be normal for the body to have toxins in it, but are they expressing and are they showing up in the form of feeling really awful? So this doesn't mean I would ever say, like, don't worry about what you eat and just ingest toxins, but the body's job is to dispel parasites, because we're going to be coming in contact with them. Like, that's the thing. Like, if you eat a salad, like, there's there's so many opportunities to get parasites. If you shake someone's hand, if you walk barefoot, like all of these things that are not bad for you, that are actually like good for our health, you can get parasites from. So it's not about like shielding and protecting and like living in a bubble of like no toxins, no like nothing. It's about fortifying the body, and part of fortifying the body is dispelling and releasing the traumas, the emotions, and the energy blockages that are allowing these things to wreak havoc on the body. So, a few other things that I'll leave you guys with are things like headaches and migraines are oftentimes a result of overthinking, of being so in our head about something. And when I look at the body too, the things that take place on the left side versus the right side. So there's two aspects here. Left side is feminine, right side is masculine. Left can also represent the past, right can also represent the future. So if you're having a pain on your left side, like I would I would think about any type of female influences in your life, or where do you feel you are holding on to things from the past? And similarly, on the right, is there any male influences that are unresolved, or a worry or fear of the future, right? So, beginning to look at some of these things, the back is going to be a sense of support and structure and safety, right? The throat. Oh my goodness, so many people are expressing throat things, and I can hear it when people communicate with me. I can always tell that there's some type of thyroid or throat thing. And that is going to be your expression, your communication, your vocalizing of really your truth. And I really like don't love to just say speaking your truth, because people, at least I did for a lot of years, just have this connotation. Well, like, what does that mean? I just go on social media and just like say what's all of my problems. No, this is more so like asserting what feels true for you. It would consist of not lying, perhaps lies that you have told in the past that are still eating away at you. This could be, not doing things in your life that you feel called to do. This is still a form of creation and expression, not, biting your tongue when you're in a conflict or argument and not speaking what you really feel. These are all little things that can lead to any type of throat chakra imbalance or thyroid condition. So these are just a few. These are the things that I look at when I look at a person's conditions and symptoms and things. And then also like tuning in to see the deeper layers behind that. What is this story? I really see every single body and every single person. It's like a story. It's a story to read and to understand and to nurture and to hold. Like, every person has a unique story. And so these things that I've shared with you are like a baseline to help you begin to get curious, but your root cause is going to be different from Johnny P's and Susie Q's. Like, they're all going to be different. And that's a beautiful thing. And this is why working with someone can be really supportive. So if you are seeking this deeper support, reach out and we can see. I will tap in and see if our work together would be supportive for you. All of the information for that will be below. There's also going to be the opportunity to just hop in the miracle frequency. The miracle frequency, I teach you how to communicate with your body, with your guides, with your angels, with the universe. A lot of the signs and signals that we receive from the universe are guidance for us. Like, if you want help and support, literally like source, your guides are dropping down messages for you everywhere. I teach you how to decode these messages in the miracle frequency. And then I also have some incredible, beautiful meditations that are encoded with energy work to help release blockages, to help fortify your field, and to make you a clear channel so that you can clear some of the gunk and static, because it can be really difficult to tune into our body and our field when we just have a lot of static and blockages in the field. I have those meditations, a lot of them are already in the miracle frequency, but I also have them just a la carte. So all of those details will be below. As always, if you found this helpful, please share it with a friend or someone who you know that this could support. And please consider leaving a review, a like, a comment. Let me know you're listening on I am JasmineElise on Instagram. Let me know your takeaways. And with that, I'm just sending you all infinite love.